Well, let me say this. I think our kids' education is the most important thing that we should be focusing all of our attention on education. And so, although I respect the right to strike, I do think that it's very important that we try to do all we can to provide the tools necessary, one, to prevent a strike, and two, to make certain that we can keep moving forward in terms of teaching our kids. I mean, this thing of...
Get class size down, too, because that's not good for the classes if we can't negotiate class size. And, you know, we have CPS talking about putting, 37, 40 kids in a class?
Yeah, well, 37,
it's a
and
bad
also...
commentary, because we all know that smaller class sizes produce better results.
Yes.
And so for us at the state level to talk about anything less than that says that we're sending a very negative message to the educators and I think to our community. I think that, in one sense, you're saying you don't care if the kids don't get educated.
We're glad to know we can count on you then. So Mike and I, we're going to contact you.
Nothing's changed. I mean, the district that I represent have some of the worst schools in the city in terms of both grade schools and high schools. The 9th District goes from Wells Street to the town of Cicero. And so education, I tell people, it has been one of the most important things that I think we can address in state government. I use this example when I was campaigning. I told folks, education is so important in my household that not only did I insist that my kids go to school, but my dog also had to go to school.
Okay, I have one question for you, and then we're going to have to, I know you have things to do, and we want to get back to Michael.
Yeah.
But one person asks, Laterisa, would you consider running for mayor of Chicago?
I'm not, at this point, I'm just trying to clear my head. Let me say this. I'm not through with elective offices. And so there's a good chance I'll consider something. We'll have to see what comes up, what's available at the proper time. But it's not like I'm going to fall by the wayside and go sit up somewhere like a prune. My son was elected to be the representative in the 9th District, so I'm going to try to provide some counseling to help him as he learns his way through this minutia, but I'm not going to say that I'm completely out of the elective arena.
Well, Mike and I would want to, we're talking about getting rid of experienced teachers in the Chicago public school system, and of course we want to, bring up the new ones and
right.
Help them and guide them. But it seems like they're getting rid of, putting us out to pasture, and maybe you'll be able to come up with some legislation that would help us out.
There is wealth in people who have seniority and experience. And I think that together we need to groom new teachers, but in no way do you kick the experience to the side. I mean, I think that that's probably the factor that the Democratic Central Committee didn't take into place. I think there's something to be said, and I believe the public knows that. There's something to be said about people with experience. And when you're trying to move things, operate a $58 billion corporation, you just can't keep let's bring in somebody new. You need somebody with experience.
Yes, you need somebody to help with that.
The same is true for education.
Okay, well, we thank you for calling, and we'll talk about getting you on this season. And so you enjoy your vacation?
I will. The word I tell people, I'm down but not out.
Okay, well, okay.
Good to hear from you.
Have a good day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So we were talking about, so hopefully, others need to realize, instead of putting teachers out to pasture, there's experience, there's a wealth of knowledge, and that's what we need for our kids.
Absolutely, and I think that I don't understand why veteran teachers aren't put in some type of consultation capacity to, guide the new provisional teachers that are coming in. Help them, mentor them, and get them going into the CPS system, get them acclimated to the CPS system. I think that would be great for someone to suggest that and make it happen, and that's what we'll try to do if we get in there.
Okay. Well, we have a Joe on the line. Joe, you had a question for us?
Yes, I'd like to ask your guest. I don't know whether or not he want to answer a question. Maybe he want to sidestep it. What does it say for the Chicago Board of Education to have a person in place? Everywhere they went, it been some type of mishandling. When Ron Human, when he was with the 311 Center, he made a $20 mistake, which the taxpayers had to pick up. When he was with CTA, I don't have to mention the problems they had at CTA in terms of the budget cuts. Now he with CPS, he make recommendations in terms of buildings that the CPS has spent millions of dollars for, and later want to turn around and just walk away from it. Not to mention how a lot of the students really disrespect him, don't have no confidence in him. When you go to different schools, you have students that throw at him.
Okay, well, thanks, Joe. So I think that should you get into that position, Mr. Hooverman is somebody you're going to have to, negotiate with, and some of the others.
You're absolutely right, and that's exactly who we will negotiate with. It seems that the situations and circumstances that are happening, it looks like it's pushing things that way. Reopening up the contract that teachers have is ultimately going to wind up back at the bargaining table, and the School Employee Alliance will be ready to negotiate with Mr. Huber.
Well, let me show the top people at the we have here. Let me see if I can Ted Haji Harris will be on the show next week, and he's running for the president. And then we have Pam Torres, who's going to be the one of the financial secretary, and you're the vice president, Mike Miguest. And then we have Belle, who's going to be the recording secretary. So you seem like you have a nice group there, and I'm one of your functional vice presidents for education, if we should make it. And I think I'm glad I had this experience from being in high school and then in elementary school, and you can see the difference and the things that are needed there.
Oh, absolutely. And we're listening too, and that's why I think that the School Employee Alliance is a great team because of our diversity, and I think we represent everyone. We've got high school represented, we have elementary school represented, we have the PSRPs, we have the payroll clerks. All of these groups are represented, and most of all, our president. Our president is a contract expert. He knows.
He worked with us. He was our
absolutely,
field rep at Lindblom,
and he worked with us at Lindblom, so we have history.
Professional Problems Committee.
Absolutely,
and then he was our field rep.
And here's someone who knows the language, someone who can go in and negotiate with a Huberman or whoever else is at the table, and knows how to maneuver and, of course, get the job done. We want to make some changes that will affect our total membership. We're tired of the lack of transparency. We're tired of the no democracy. We're tired of the non-unity that is in the union right now. And we want to change that. And we will when we get in there.
Okay, and I see some things on the platform. You want, your working conditions to be better for everyone.
Working conditions, but I think one of the major things is job security. And that's what everyone is concerned about, especially in this environmental landscape that we're in right now. Everyone is concerned about their jobs. And we want to definitely address that. That will be one of the major things we address. Also, respect. And, I think that respect is really a function of mediocrity. I mean, if something is mediocre, you won't get respect. And I think that's where we are right now with the current leadership of our union. I think mediocrity is at the top. And
Lindblom was closed, and we were, we had the highest scores in our region. We were a college prep. We were at the top of our game, and it was closed anyway.
Okay, I think that was also some politics involved in that. Absolutely. And
okay, well, let's take a call here. And then we have Theodore on the line. He wanted to make a comment. Hi, Theodore.
Hi, how are you guys today?
Fine.
Listen, I just want to say that, if we follow the model of the all-male school that was over in Inglewood just now, that we heard about recently, that all of the senior class got accepted to school.
They met at Lindblom. They were on the third floor of Lindblom, and they closed Lindblom. And you don't hear that stuff about it. But they met on the third floor of Lindblom when they revamped it. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Here is my point. Here's my point, though. Why aren't we following the model of that school? And just for instance, I think Mr. Huberman, first of all, he's too busy following up behind the mayor, and it's not his fault per se. He just has, he has to do everything the mayor tells him to do. So his hands are tied. On top of the fact that he's not qualified. But the bottom line is, we need to bring some discipline in our schools.